Throughout American automotive history, trucks have been known for their ruggedness, power, and utility. However, not all trucks lived up to that reputation. Some models lack the durability, reliability, and performance needed for serious work, making them more of a liability than an asset for budget-conscious buyers. These trucks were often the only option, forcing them to settle for poorly made, underpowered, or impractical vehicles. Here are 11 of America's most useless trucks that were only available to income buyers, and each one failed to get the job done, making life difficult for their owners. Dear viewer, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support. Number 11. The 1982 Dodge Rampage. The 1982 Dodge Rampage represented Chrysler's attempt to enter the growing compact truck market during a time of rising fuel prices. Based on the front-wheel drive Dodge Omni platform, this car-truck hybrid promised the convenience of a car with the utility of a pickup. However, it failed spectacularly at delivering on either front. Powered by a meager 2.2-liter four-cylinder engine, producing just 96 horsepower, the Rampage struggled under any significant load. Its front-wheel drive layout severely limited its towing capacity to a mere 1,000 pounds. Laughable compared to traditional pickups, the small bed, while stylish with its curved sides, sacrificed practicality for aesthetics. The Rampage's unibody construction lacked the durability needed for truck duties. Owners frequently reported structural issues when using it for actual hauling. The suspension, designed for passenger car comfort, sagged noticeably under moderate loads, affecting handling and ride height. Despite its car underpinnings, the Rampage delivered disappointing fuel economy, negating its primary selling point during the fuel-conscious early 1980s. Dodge discontinued the model after just 3 years of dismal sales, confirming its failure to resonate with either truck enthusiasts or car buyers. Number 10. The 1957 Ford Ranchero. First generation. The 1957 Ford Ranchero pioneered the car-based pickup concept in America, creating a new vehicle category that promised the comfort of a passenger car with the utility of a light truck. Despite its innovative approach, the first-generation Ranchero failed to deliver on many practical fronts. Based on the full-size Ford platform, the Ranchero featured a stylish design with sweeping lines and prominent tail fins that prioritized fashion over function. Its bed measured just 6.5 feet in length with limited depth, significantly restricting its hauling capability compared to traditional pickups. The unibody construction, while providing a smoother ride, simply couldn't handle heavy loads without compromising structural integrity. The Ranchero's engine options, including the base 223 cubic inch inline-six, producing a modest 144 horsepower, proved inadequate for serious work. Even with the optional V8, the vehicle struggled when loaded to capacity. Its low ground clearance made off-road use nearly impossible, limiting its versatility. Ford marketed the Ranchero as more than a car, more than a truck, but in reality, it excelled at neither role. Its compromised design left buyers with a vehicle that couldn't haul like a proper truck or provide the passenger space of a car, ultimately making it impractical for most working applications. Number 9. The 1978 Subaru BRAT. The 1978 Subaru BRAT, bi-drive recreational all-terrain transporter, entered the American market as a unique compact pickup with Japanese origins. To circumvent the chicken tax, a 25% tariff on imported light trucks, Subaru installed rear-facing plastic seats in the bed, classifying it as a passenger vehicle. This bizarre workaround exemplified the compromised nature of this odd creation. Powered by a minuscule 1.6-liter flat-4 engine generating just 67 horsepower, the Brat was severely underpowered for truck duties. Despite its all-wheel drive system, the lightweight construction and minimal ground clearance limited any serious off-road capability. The tiny bed, further compromised by those rear-facing jump seats, offered minimal cargo space, barely enough for weekend errands, let alone proper work duties. The Brat's questionable safety features became infamous. Those plastic bed seats exposed passengers to the elements with only simple grab handles for security. A configuration that would never pass modern safety standards. The lightweight body proved dangerously fragile in collisions, while rust issues plagued many examples, particularly in northern states. While it gained a cult following for its quirky appearance, the Brat ultimately failed as a practical truck, offering neither the capability of small Japanese pickups nor the comfort of passenger cars. It remained a curious automotive footnote rather than a serious work vehicle. Number 8. The 1963 Jeep Gladiator. The 1963 Jeep Gladiator emerged from Willys Overland Motors, later acquired by AMC, as their attempt to enter the growing full-size pickup market. Despite Jeep's reputation for rugged off-road vehicles, the Gladiator proved to be surprisingly unsuitable for serious work applications. The Gladiator's major failing was its notorious Rhino independent front suspension on early models, which proved catastrophically unreliable under load. The complicated system failed regularly, leading to expensive repairs and significant downtime. Jeep would later switch to a more conventional solid axle design, but the damage to the truck's reputation was already done. Power came from underpowered inline-six engines, including the 230 cubic inch Tornado that produced a meager 140 horsepower. These anemic power plants struggled to move the heavy truck, particularly when loaded or towing. Fuel economy was abysmal even by 1960s standards, making the Gladiator expensive to operate. The Gladiator's cabin was cramped and uncomfortable, with poor ergonomics and minimal amenities. Road noise was excessive, making longer journeys unbearable. The truck's handling was unpredictable, with vague steering and a tendency to wander at highway speeds. While the Gladiator offered impressive off-road capability, its on-road manners and reliability issues made it impractical for the everyday work duties most truck owners required. Its shortcomings resulted in slow sales and a damaged reputation that persisted throughout its production run. Number 7. The 1976 Chevrolet LUV. The 1976 Chevrolet LUV, light utility vehicle, was essentially a rebadged Isuzu Faster, imported to help GM compete in the growing compact truck segment. Despite its practical intentions, this first-generation import proved woefully inadequate for American truck buyers. Powered by an anemic 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine producing just 75 horsepower, the LUV struggled with even modest loads. Its limited payload capacity of roughly 1,100 pounds fell far short of what American truck buyers expected. Acceleration was dangerously slow, with 0 to 60 miles per hour times exceeding 14 seconds when empty, and significantly worse when loaded. The LUV's lightweight construction resulted in poor durability, with frames prone to bending under heavy use. Rust protection was virtually non-existent, causing many examples to literally dissolve in regions where road salt was used. The truck's narrow track and short wheelbase created unstable handling characteristics, particularly in crosswinds or emergency maneuvers. Inside, the cabin was cramped, with minimal features and uncomfortable seating. The lack of sound insulation meant highway travel was punishingly noisy. Early models lacked power steering or power brakes, making the truck difficult to maneuver in tight spaces. While the LUV helped introduce Americans to compact trucks, its significant limitations in power, durability, and comfort made it essentially useless for serious work applications, relegating it to light-duty tasks that barely justified its truck classification. Number 6. The 1983 Dodge Dakota Convertible. The 1983 Dodge Dakota Convertible stands as one of the most bewildering truck concepts ever produced. While the standard Dakota was a competent mid-size pickup, Dodge inexplicably decided to create a convertible variant that sacrificed nearly every aspect of utility for novelty. The conversion process significantly compromised the truck's structural integrity. Without a solid roof, the Dakota's frame flexed excessively during normal driving, causing doors to misalign and the body to shudder over bumps. The manual convertible top was cumbersome to operate and prone to leaking in rainstorms, often resulting in water damage to the interior. Performance suffered due to the additional weight of the convertible mechanism, with the standard 3.9-liter V6 producing an inadequate 125 horsepower. The added weight also negatively impacted payload capacity, which dropped to just over 1,000 pounds, barely more than many passenger cars of the era. The practicality issues continued with security concerns. The soft top provided minimal protection against theft, making tools and cargo vulnerable. In cold weather regions, the poorly insulated cabin became nearly unusable during winter months, limiting the truck's year-round utility. Dodge produced fewer than 4,000 Dakota convertibles before discontinuing this failed experiment. The concept proved that some ideas, while creative, completely undermine the fundamental purpose of a pickup truck, resulting in a vehicle that excelled at neither open-air enjoyment nor actual truck duties. Number 5. The 1972 Ford Courier, first generation. The 1972 Ford Courier was Ford's hasty response to the growing compact truck market, essentially a rebadged Mazda B-Series imported from Japan. While its intentions were sound, the execution left American truck buyers with a severely compromised work vehicle, powered by a minuscule 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine producing just 74 horsepower. The Courier was dangerously underpowered on American highways. Merging with traffic became a white-knuckle experience, especially when carrying any significant load. Its limited payload capacity of approximately 1,400 pounds was barely adequate for light-duty use. The Courier's diminutive dimensions created serious practical limitations. Its narrow bed couldn't accommodate a standard 4x8 sheet of plywood, while the cramped cabin left little room for tools or additional passengers. The basic interior lacked amenities, with uncomfortable seating and minimal sound insulation. Perhaps most problematic was the Courier's abysmal durability. The thin-gauge steel body panels dented easily and succumbed rapidly to rust, particularly around wheel wells and floor pans. The lightweight chassis couldn't withstand the abuse typical of work trucks, with frames known to crack under moderate loads. While the Courier helped establish the compact truck segment in America, its severe limitations in power, durability, and capacity made it largely useless for the serious work duties most truck buyers required. It represented a compromised stopgap rather than a properly developed truck solution. Number 4. The 1991 GMC Cyclone. The 1991 GMC Cyclone stands as perhaps the most perplexing performance truck ever created. A vehicle that prioritized speed at the expense of every practical truck virtue. Based on the GMC Sonoma compact pickup, the Cyclone featured a turbocharged 4.3-liter V6 producing 280 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and sport-tuned suspension. Despite its impressive performance credentials, the Cyclone completely abandoned truck utility. Its payload capacity was restricted to a mere 500 pounds, less than many passenger cars. The owner's manual explicitly warned against towing any trailer, and off-road use was prohibited due to the low ground clearance and fragile body components. The lowered suspension, while improving handling, made the truck impractical for navigating rough roads or construction sites. The all-wheel drive system, designed for performance rather than utility, lacked the low-range gearing needed for traditional truck tasks. Perhaps most baffling was the Cyclone's price. At nearly $26,000, equivalent to about $55,000 today, it cost more than many luxury vehicles while offering neither truck utility nor luxury comfort. The harsh ride, noisy cabin, and limited cargo capacity made it impractical as a daily driver. GMC produced just 2,995 Cyclones before discontinuing the model. While it achieved its goal as a performance novelty, it completely failed at the fundamental purpose of a pickup truck, utility, making it essentially useless for actual truck duties. Number 3. The 1960 Chevrolet Corvair Rampside. The 1960 Chevrolet Corvair Rampside represented one of the most innovative yet fundamentally flawed truck designs in American history. Part of the Corvair 95 series of forward control vehicles, the Rampside featured a unique side-loading ramp and rear engine layout that promised revolutionary utility but delivered a host of serious problems. The Rampside's rear-mounted, air-cooled flat-six engine produced just 80 horsepower, severely underpowering the truck. This unconventional layout created catastrophic weight distribution problems. When unloaded, the front wheels had so little weight on them that steering became dangerously unpredictable, especially in wet conditions. The rear-heavy design caused pronounced oversteer, making the truck prone to spinouts during emergency maneuvers. The air-cooled engine proved completely inadequate for heavy loads, overheating regularly during demanding work. Access for maintenance was extremely difficult, requiring partial disassembly of the rear compartment. The complex cooling system frequently failed, leading to costly repairs. The truck's load floor sat unusually high due to the rear engine placement, making loading heavy items difficult despite the innovative side ramp. The cab-forward design placed drivers dangerously close to frontal impacts with minimal structural protection, raising serious safety concerns highlighted in Ralph Nader's "Unsafe at Any Speed." The Corvair Rampside's radical design ultimately undermined its functionality as a practical work truck, making it both dangerous and unreliable for the very tasks it was designed to perform. Number 2. The 1985 Chevrolet S10 Diesel. The 1985 Chevrolet S10 Diesel represented a misguided attempt to capture the fuel efficiency market with disastrous results. General Motors made the fateful decision to adapt the Isuzu 2.2-liter diesel engine for the compact S10 pickup, creating perhaps the most underpowered and problematic truck of its era. Producing a paltry 62 horsepower and 96 pound-feet of torque, the diesel S10 was dangerously slow even by 1980 standards. Acceleration from 0 to 60 miles per hour took nearly 20 seconds when empty, making highway merging a terrifying experience. When loaded with even modest cargo, the truck struggled to maintain speed on slight inclines, often forcing drivers to shift down to lower gears. Beyond its performance issues, the engine proved catastrophically unreliable. Cooling system failures were common, leading to cracked cylinder heads and blown gaskets. The fragile timing belt required replacement at short intervals, while fuel system problems led to frequent stalling and starting difficulties, particularly in cold weather. The diesel option added significant cost to the S10's price tag while delivering few benefits. While fuel economy was marginally better than the gasoline variants, the savings were quickly erased by frequent repairs and the premium price of the engine option. GM wisely discontinued this problematic powertrain after just 2 years, but not before creating one of the most useless trucks ever inflicted on American buyers. A vehicle that lacked the power for basic truck duties while also failing to deliver the reliability expected from diesel engines. Number 1. The 1963 Dodge Diora concept truck. The 1963 Dodge Diora concept truck stands as the epitome of impractical truck design, prioritizing radical styling over any semblance of utility. Originally, a concept vehicle designed by Harry Bradley and built by the Alexander brothers, this bizarre creation was based loosely on the Dodge A100 platform, but completely reimagined with futuristic styling. The Diora's most impractical feature was its entrance system. Lacking conventional doors, drivers entered through the front of the vehicle by lifting the entire windshield and steering wheel assembly. This cumbersome arrangement made quick entry and exit impossible, requiring a complex sequence just to get in or out. In an emergency, occupants would be virtually trapped inside. The cab-forward design placed the driver directly above the front axle with minimal crash protection. The severely raked windshield created blinding glare and distorted visibility, while the tiny side windows restricted peripheral vision to dangerous levels. The cab featured no rear window, making reversing a matter of blind faith. The Diora's bed was laughably small and irregularly shaped, sacrificing cargo capacity for its swooping lines. Despite being classified as a truck, It couldn't perform even the most basic hauling tasks. The low ground clearance made it unsuitable for anything but perfectly smooth pavement. While the Diora won awards for its radical design and eventually became a Hot Wheels toy, it represents the ultimate triumph of style over substance. A truck so focused on appearance that it abandoned every aspect of utility that defines the very concept of a pickup truck. The 1963 Dodge Diora concept truck represents an extreme example of prioritizing unconventional design over practical functionality. While it captured imaginations with its futuristic styling, its complete abandonment of basic truck utility and usability makes it the perfect example of a vehicle that completely failed to fulfill its intended purpose. Today, it remains a fascinating artifact of 1960s design excess, appreciated for its boldness but recognized for its utter impracticality as an actual working vehicle.